Today we're going to teach Brock how to box squat. I'm not going to go into great detail. I'm just going to cover the basics, try to keep it as simple as I possibly can, but still cover all bases. We're going to use the monolift, but because most people don't have access to one, I'm going to teach them how to squat, walking the bar out, and then using the box. I'm a big believer in the box squat, especially when teaching technique. I don't think there's any better way to go about squatting or teaching the squat than with the box. So when squatting, the first thing that you want to do is, and this is with all the power lifts, when the decision is made that you're going to squat, there can be no distractions between after that decision is made and when you approach the bar. So you can't come up to the bar and then have somebody ask you a question and say, well, yeah, da, 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 da. There has to be the mental focus associated with the task at hand. The squat is a very technical lift. It's not, a basic lift that's very simple to do. There's a lot of technical qualities to the squat that can mean the difference between squatting, 500 pounds, 600 pounds, 600 pounds, or 1,000 pounds. It doesn't really matter what it is. Technique-wise is extremely important in the squat. Perhaps more technical than any of the other lifts that I've ever coached. With the squat, what we're going to do here is I'm just going to walk him through the movement with the verbal cues and make any corrections as we go. The first thing I want you to do when you come up to the bar, I don't care what hand you go with first, but the first thing you want to do is dig your hand into the bar as hard as you possibly can. Dig your other hand in, making sure it's even. Obviously you want to make sure your grip's even. Making sure the bar is even in the rack. If you have to adjust the bar, adjust the bar. But after it's all set, then get your grip. Don't get your grip if the bar needs adjusted. Adjust that first. Then the tightest grip you can possibly get should be the very first thing that you do, and then don't let the grip go. So go ahead and step up in. Get the tightest grip you possibly can. Go ahead. Now he's going to duck under the bar. Bring your feet closer together. If you're going to walk it out, you want to have your feet a little bit closer together so you have a little bit stronger support. You want your grip as tight as you can possibly be. His hands opened up a little bit. You need to grasp down, squeeze as hard as you can. At this point, you need to pull your shoulder blades together as hard as you can. Try to push the elbows down some. That's going to help activate and keep this upper back tight. Before you bring the bar out of the rack, you want to bring in as much air in your belly as you possibly can. Not in your chest, in your belly. At this point, you're going to just arch your back, arch hard, which pops it out. But you need to keep your hips back as you do that. Now he's in a position to start walking the bar out. Take one step out, take another step, and one more step. Now see, there's too many steps going on here. Go ahead and rack the bar. For a beginner, go ahead and step out. For a beginner, what you'd want to be looking at would be step, 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 step. More advanced lifters, as they become more attuned with walking it out, will be able to take it down to 2. But as you start as a beginner, we'll go with 4. So go ahead and back underneath again. Squeeze. Make sure, set the bar first. Remember, the bar's not in there even. So set the bar first. Make sure it's even. Good. Grip, grip. Duck. Take your time. Okay, bring the feet closer together. Upper back tight. Elbows down. Air in the belly. Now arch. Let's go step, 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 wide, wide, step. Good. That's not as wide as I want him to be, but it's a start. Because he's not where I want, we're going to rack it, we're going to do a do-over. When teaching a squat, especially with a walkout, I didn't want to have him here and then just tell him wider, 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 because we still need to reinforce the pattern of getting the bar into the position it needs to be. Okay. Same thing. Grab, grab, duck, upper back tight, butt back, big belly, arch, step, step, step wide, Okay, now he's in a position to squat, almost. I would like to see the elbows down more. There, now he's in a position to squat with that correction. Now at this point, I want pushing out on the feet as hard as you can, trying to almost roll your shoe over, flaring your knees out, okay, as hard as you can. Actually, real quick, bring your knees in, and then push them out so they can see what I'm talking about. Push in again, now out. This is what we want, is this out position. That's going to activate the hips and the glutes. From here, you're going to force your knees out and sit back, 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 stop. This would be the bottom position where the knee is in line with the ankle. Actually, I would prefer to see it even a little bit further behind the ankle if possible. From this position now, as he comes up, it's going to be with his chest first, not his hips first. If he comes up with his hips first, the chest will fall, and then the bar's falling forward, which the extreme example of that would be a good morning. So from here, the knees are still pushed out, back still tight. I want him to stand up so this bar comes up in a straight line. Up, right there. Flare again, hips, sit back, 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 straight up. Good. Flare knees, back, straight up. Good. Now when you walk it back in, step in, walk forward, breathe, relax. Rest for a second. That's actually very good. The only thing here that I see that needs to change is his elbows need to still come in a little bit more. So what we're going to do is his hands are out really wide right now, and this is a mastodon bar, so it's already a wider bar for most people. So we're going to bring the hands in some to be able to allow that position. What you need to watch when you bring the hands in some is a lot of times it pulls the chest up, which is good, but it will also cause people to start breathing into their chest instead of their belly, where you want the breathing to still go into your belly. So go ahead and come under again. Remember, bar even, grab, squeeze, squeeze. So let's try to go in even a little bit more, okay? There, squeeze, under, step up a little bit more. Okay, shoulder blades tight. Remember the elbows down some. Belly, big air, arch. Step, 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 step. Good. Flare. Knees flared. No, come back up. Remember, keep this pelvic tilt here. Push out on your feet. Flare your knees out. Now, from here, elbows. Flare, sit back, 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 straight up. Good. Sit down again. Now I'm going to have him stop here because he's a little bit too far forward. We want this bar to be in line with the center of gravity as much as we can. So all I want you to do is just arch a little more here. Now from here, head straight. Now come straight up. Good. Come down again. Straight up. That's better. Good. Straight up. Good. Racket. What I'm looking at when the lifter is coming up is we want that bar to come in a straight line. If there's any deviation forward at all out of the bottom, it either means, as I said before, that they're flexing with their hips first, or when they get on the box, they're actually a little bit too far forward and they're not maintaining their arch. This is how to do a box squat.